What we're going to talk about this afternoon is about understanding the cloud and what benefits it can bring to the accountancy sector. What we're going to do is give you an overview of the cloud, try to explain what is cloud computing. We're going to talk about the different types of services that are available via cloud computing.
This is our definition of cloud computing. Cloud computing refers to the services and applications that are provided over the internet, stored in a secure data center, and accessed via any internet-enabled device. Now, when we're talking about applications and services, we're talking about email, websites, and other hosted services such as applications and data, all provided over the internet connection. Internet-enabled devices, these days it's very hard to pick a device that hasn't got an internet connection on it. More commonly, iPads, iPhones, and any other tablets and nettops and laptops around on the market today. So here's some of the more obvious cloud-based services that you might not be aware today that you are using. So I'm just going to dig into a bit more detail on some of those slides. Websites. Nearly every firm today has a website. It's how your clients interact with you, it's how your clients contact you. This is using cloud-based technologies. It's very rare these days for a company to host a website internally in their own offices based on security and reliability. You outsource this to a website provider. So this is a cloud-based technology that everyone's probably using today. Also, file synchronization and online backup. A lot of people have heard of Dropbox and iCloud, two of the popular names at the moment for online backup and sharing files between computers. Again, using cloud-based technology to replicate and sync the files between your offices and the secure data and any other devices you might have. Some other more commonly cloud-based services are on the slide here. Another one at the bottom there is software as a service, a web application that's provided over the internet where you don't have to worry about installing the application, managing the updates, all based through the web browser such as Cashflow and Sage One, who are here today. I'm just going to pass over to my colleague Steve now, who's going to talk about the uptake of the cloud on the UK market.
A recent survey has been conducted of about 250 small businesses, and 61% of those businesses had some type of hosted application at the moment. And of those who don't have, about 26% said they were intending to take up some sort of cloud-based system in the next 12 months. So the market for this type of technology is expanding very, very rapidly.
Okay, so the three main types of cloud that most people have heard of are available today on the UK market are public, private, and hybrid. Now, the next few slides, I'm going to introduce a few of the commonly used conceptions all about these three different types of cloud technology. So first we have the public cloud. This is using the infrastructure, using the software that's based away from your offices, typically in secure data centers dotted around the country. This is charged on a monthly basis depending on your usage, sometimes number of users, or sometimes bandwidth and internet speed used, and also data stored. So you're using somebody else's system, somebody else has put in the infrastructure, put in all the hard work, set up all the system, put in all the capital X, so you're only using it on a monthly basis. A lot of cons to this system, because the cloud provider has thousands, if not millions of clients and users, they're able to spread the cost of the enterprise level equipment that wouldn't normally be available to a single practice. So you're gaining the enterprise level equipment but a fraction of the cost. Also, these providers are very reliable and secure. They typically replicate the data to a second data center. So if there's a problem with the primary data center, your data is all backed up safe and sound in the second location, normally a geographical separate location somewhere else in the country. A con with the public cloud is sometimes it's a one-size-fits-all approach. The public cloud provider has put in the infrastructure, put in the investment, so unfortunately clients have to fit with their system. It can't be highly customized to benefit the client. The next cloud is the private cloud. Very similar to the public cloud, however this is stored within the client's premises, within their server room or within their internal offices. So the client here puts in the initial investment to purchase the equipment, the initial investment to install it, to maintain the equipment, all within their offices. So it takes a lot longer to get the system up and running. This system typically has a 5-year lifespan. the main suppliers will give you a 5-year warranty with this type of equipment. So you're going to have to redo that investment in 5 years' time. So it's a large capital outlay every 5 years compared to the public cloud, the monthly cloud system. Typical hardware that you can purchase this system are mentioned here: Dell, HP, IBM, to name some of the more commonly known public brands. One of the main pros to a private cloud system is you can customize it. It's your system, you're the only person that's going to be accessing it. So it can be customized to fit around that client and to better your business. Where the public cloud system has to cater for lots of clients and a lot more university. Some of the cons, obviously, it costs a lot to put in the initial investment to purchase the equipment. So there's a lot of capital outlay to install and maintain the equipment from day one. I get called in regularly up and down to companies to advise on IT infrastructure and strategy, and I see time and again people putting in private cloud systems, which is all well and good. However, they might not know some of the pitfalls around the private cloud system rather. Typically these systems are virtual systems, so this reduces the need for physical servers using virtual servers. So reduces the need for additional hardware, virtualizing them onto some single storage hardware. To do this, people use what's called a storage array. This is an array that stores the data, a piece of equipment that stores all the data, stores and powers all the servers, which is all well and good. Great enterprise bit of kit. What happens if this goes wrong? You've got one little box in your server room, a very expensive little box, got all your data on it. What happens when it goes wrong? Inevitably, hardware does fail these days. I'm regularly handed a backup tape, and the IT guy goes, "It's okay, all my data's on the backup tape, don't worry." This is great to restore an individual file. However, has anyone tried restoring a whole company's data from a backup tape? It takes days, if not weeks, and that will put most companies out of business. And that's if you've got working hardware to restore it onto in the first place. If you look at these private cloud systems, it's very important to include the redundancy in these systems, to have 2 units, so if one fails, then you've got another one to take over. The first type of cloud here is the hybrid cloud. There's 2 approaches to the hybrid cloud. The first is the best of all approach. To take a little bit of the best of both approach rather. Take a little bit of the private cloud and take a little bit of the public cloud. So on the public cloud, maybe host applications. On the private cloud rather, sorry, I'll start that again. On the private cloud, host your own applications in your own data center. We're using the public cloud to host your websites and email. So you're trying to use the best of both worlds approach, using some of the public cloud but some of the private cloud to achieve that balance. We're going to move on now and talk about the different services available within the public cloud. 3 types of main categories here: infrastructure as a service, platforms as a service, and software as a service. Infrastructure as a service first. This is typically where the cloud provider hosts the system and provides a virtual machine to the client. The client's responsibility is to deploy the operating system, sometimes Windows or Linux, and then the applications and the data on top of that. So they're providing just the infrastructure, the data center, the internet connections, the hardware, and the storage. Examples of this will be Rackspace and Amazon, who are multinational companies who have large data centers spread across the UK and the world, enabling you to take advantage of that high-end system and deploy the operating system and applications that you require on their systems. The next service is platforms as a service. So this takes all the benefits of the infrastructure, all the hardware, all the connectivity, but includes the operating system. So the client just has to deploy their application or sometimes just their data. Website hosting being a good example of this. Clients just need to upload their database, upload their files to the web server, haven't got to worry about the applications, about the updates, about the system. That's all managed in the platform, from the platform provider. A couple of examples is Windows Azure and Google App Engine, where Windows Azure is ready for you just to deploy your data into the database applications, and Google App Engine, a web hosting platform where you can upload your files and data and use the system from day one. The third type of service we have here is software as a service. Now this includes all the benefits of infrastructure as a service, as well as platforms as a service, but also includes the software. Some examples of this would be Cashflow and Office 365, where the system is maintained by the provider. You don't need to worry about the infrastructure, don't need to worry about the software, don't need to worry about the updates. It's all managed for you, and you can just sign up normally within a few minutes and use the system immediately. The fourth type of service, which strictly speaking, isn't on its own type of service at the moment. It's starting to split off from software as a service, which is desktop as a service. This is different to software. Software as a service allows you to host one application. It's one system that you can host, one like Cashflow Zero, one actually application. Desktop as a service allows you to host multiple applications and your data and your email all in the same window. So bringing your virtual office really in one place. Clients have got all their applications, all their data, all their user profiles and all their email all in the same place, and they can access it from typically anywhere. This removes the need for in-house IT investment and infrastructure, as the provider will provide their own system, their own support, and help you with it accordingly.